Okay, so we're looking at work Tuesday, December 8th, some renderings. So we opened up Jonathan's in Photoshop. I just dropped a rectangle in behind. So you can just see the difference between the rectangle. I mean, it's not that big of a difference, but it gets rid of that grid and just gives a clearer picture of the intensity of the background. Looks good. Looks good. Yeah. So the shadows are following. So so the shadows we could see inside a little bit, and it does appear like they're running in the same direction, which is nice. This side is in shade. That side of the timbers are in shade. This is highlighted. So Michael, we can't get.
Yeah, where the shadows, the building casts.
Yeah. What would they show up on? They would be
on this one, they can be shown on the ground. So,
but would Lumion do that or no?
Lumion would cast the shadows, yeah.
Yeah.
It did it on mine.
Yeah.
But you should be able to bring those shadows in if you let shadows be cast on the ground. We can do that. This is the one we can do this with because it is just sitting on a relatively flat piece of ground.
I think I forgot to click that button in the SketchUp.
Yeah, you want to swap that in. And the only other little thing is like it's really a shame that you're cut off at the chimney.
Ah, yeah.
We really want a little space above that. But the background is great. It's really nicely done. I think you've toned it down just the right amount. The people are good. I like them slightly translucent. And I think you're casting the shadow correctly too with the from them. So it looks really good. But yeah, you really want to get the shadows on the ground. Otherwise it looks like it's just kind of hovering.
So yeah, so I guess you have to bring the landscape in with Lumion, or if you're bringing your own landscape, then you have to create your own shadows.
Yeah. But this image is just from SketchUp, right?
Yeah.
Oh, right. No Lumion. Oh, that's right.
No, you can use Lumion, and you can see what a great result you can get. You don't for all those folks out there that may be like, oh, I really want to use Lumion. It's like this really tells the story very well. Look, it looks really good.
So I just wanted to create a layer for a shadow. I went to the background layer, got the eyedropper, picked up a dark green right off the grass, back to that layer, and then I don't know how I would do that. Well, just try with a brush. Something soft, medium size. And if that shadow goes behind everything, it would be kind of like that. Now all of a sudden it looks ugly and gray. I don't know why it went that color doesn't look good to me now, but.
Yeah, why didn't it pick up a dark green?
I wonder, I thought it did. I thought that did look green to me initially, but maybe not. No, it's just going gray, so that could be, it could be related. Huh, usually that's like a mode thing, but it says RGB there. I'm on the right layer. That looks green to me. Is it not green? It says it's green.
Excuse me. I got like a quick question, but it's related to SketchUp. Should I wait until you go on SketchUp?
Just wait till we're done with this conversation at least.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about it. That looks green to me. Paintbrush. That does not look green.
No, a little bit, just a little bit green.
Yeah. I guess
Yeah,
it
should be a
is.
lot darker.
It's green. This guy. Oh, so somehow I got a hue and saturation on there. That's why this hue and saturation belonged to something else. That's why. Okay. Okay. So there. One more. Okay. So I dropped this guy in at the wrong place. That was my fault. Okay. So these guys need to be above there. This is turned on. That's turned down. And then we could get the green on the correct layer, get the green. They are very gray greens, it seems. They're showing up very gray. Then paint on the correct layer. All right, so it was really, yeah, so it was I don't know why they're showing, it seems like they're picking up the color, the desaturated color. So that seems to be a bit of the problem. Something kind of like that. And then obviously we need these guys. So it shouldn't be too much, but I think that would help.
Yeah, I mean, and I can show you in SketchUp, like you just have to toggle on shadows on the ground.
Yeah. And if they come in the shapes, then you just select that and
you can select, they'll come in as uniform color, and then you can select those and you can adjust them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, I agree with Michael. He's cut off and the tip down here is cut off and you got ample space left to right. So a little more of a frame would be nice.
And one other thing is, which looking at all these images, but particularly because this one is a Photoshop image, the resolution should probably be higher than it is. Just checking this, because this could be the key image, but I don't think it's quite at the resolution it needs to be.
It says 300.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess a 12-inch image. I was thinking even bigger.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, for a big board, that is small.
So it's.
And if that got sheeted down, but ideally coming out, it would be 300 and ample in size.
So it's in the right ballpark, but.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if other people are having this problem in SketchUp, make sure shadows are cast on the ground. That will apply for, well, really it's most for the hut. It'll also apply for the yard house. That will not apply, however, because it's on a slope, for the lounge in Mexico.
And the layer I'm on is on 51% opacity for some. Did I drop that? I'm not sure if I don't think I dropped that yet. Maybe I did. Maybe it was me. It looks nice though. Yeah, just tight top and bottom and some more shadows. Good. Any questions, Jonathan, or?
No, I think I got that.
Comments or nothing? Oh, good. It's nice looking. The people look good. Shadow looks good.
Also, your selection of people, we'll probably come across this with some other renderings. They look appropriate. You know, they're wearing casual attire. She's looking at the building. They are believable being in that scene. They're not wearing, you know, business suits and ties and high heels there. So, so you chose your entourage well.
Yeah.
And for some of you, having only glanced at this really briefly, for this particular project, you don't really need that many people. It's a place for really just a few. So, you know, we could have made the argument with the visitor center that we wanted to show that really populated. But with this one, you know, 1, 2, 3 people max, I think, for this project.
Yeah. It's good looking. Very nice. Okay, good. Move on to some PDFs. This is Joyce. You here with us, Joyce? No, Joyce?
Joyce isn't here? I thought she was. No, I guess not. But I can comment on this, or David, you certainly can.
Be brought down.
Sorry, I lost you guys for a minute there.
All right. Everything all right?
I guess so. I don't know. Weird. Anyway.
Yeah. I was just talking about the busyness behind this guy in particular here. Like maybe just
move him.
Just back him up and frame him there. Less lines chopping through them. Get his foot out of the garden, the stone garden. And if you're doing this view, it would be nice to see that circle, whatever that circle is exactly. But otherwise, I think the sky is nice. Is this correct, Michael? This is just plain and there's a little overhang there?
And that's one thing, that's a Photoshop thing. The way we had to build this is you should Photoshop out that line. There is no horizontal line. It's one smooth, continuous surface.
Okay.
But it's come out, it's got a really nice character to it, particularly the quality of that gravel in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a very, the people as well, it's got a very attractive aesthetic. I mean, it's a minimal view, it's minimal building, but I think it really looks it's got a very nice character to it overall. The colors harmonize, and you know, and it's too bad Joyce isn't here.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that gravel, that looks really good.
Yeah.
Nice texture.
And it makes me think, actually, for Thursday, if some of you, or maybe each of you, uploads one Photoshop document, it might be nice to actually flip through them and turn on and off the layers. It's kind of always interesting how people set things up. I know it's when Michael's looking at SketchUp, I know how Michael likes to look at the actual files a lot. Sometimes it's problematic to work with somebody else's files, but if only just to turn layers on and off, it's kind of nice to see the different pieces and how they're adjusted. And then I wonder about looking at a lot of work this morning for design 2. Like this gray is maybe a little lighter than this gray. I guess it is.
It is.
But then this shadow is a lot darker than this gray.
Yeah.
Are these, like, what material is this? I don't. Not that you want to populate it all with materials, because then it's too much. So yeah, then it would compete with this nice gravel. But even the lightest of textures, or maybe this wall gets lightened a little bit and it has a little texture and this one's left alone. I mean, you don't want to overwork it, because it does have a nice light, airy quality to it. But when that line goes away, this is all going to be pretty flat.
Yeah.
This is very, this is flat. So again, time to maybe go back to the original photographs and see, not to overdo it, because, this gravel's like we were saying, it's really pretty. So you don't want to overdo it, but the gravel and the sky are just right. It's nice. Okay. Paula, you're here.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good. I think the background's too intense. So how did you get this guy in here? So you did you got trees in front. That's a good job.
So it's the same image. So I just followed the tutorial that you gave us the last class. It was several steps, like putting a rectangle and then the erase tool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of how I did it.
Good job.
So it looks
Thank
good.
you.
We went over this a little bit earlier. The one thing that's wrong is that the building, well, actually I see now one other thing looking at more closely. The building itself is not in perspective. It's actually still in a parallel view. But the insertion of the structure is quite good. I wouldn't obscure the deck quite as much as you've done. But, and that shingle pattern, that's just not happening in this particular thing. It's a reinforced concrete slab that's painted. So that's something, so you'll need to still revisit SketchUp and change that to just a solid color.
And if you can't figure it out, or if it doesn't happen easily enough in SketchUp, you could just cheat and put a gray dark band there in Photoshop. Yeah. But what Michael's talking about, the perspective issue, is more serious. So it's,
yeah, I had that problem setting up the scenes, the views, because they were looking awkward. So I guess I figured it out this afternoon at 1 o'clock with professor, and he said put it in perspective. I might just do the scenes again, the views again.
Okay. Yeah. And the other part Michael was referring to was this, hiding the deck. The couple's happy.
Boy, they're happy to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, tone down the background a lot though, because it's, the background and them are real, hyper real, where this SketchUp and SketchUp could have a cartoony quality to it. And when you contrast it so clearly with, real photographs, it brings out the cartooniness, I think. So tone down everything that's real, and then I don't think it'll be as jarring, I would say. It looks, so just the transparency, just bring down that transparency a bit.
Yeah, just like Jonathan's, where he brought it down.
Yeah.
I think, but Paula, I think your Photoshop, you're doing pretty well with your Photoshop technique. And you clearly were following David last class as he was inserting that. So that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And then just, if you're redoing it and we're being picky, which, it's good to be picky when we, I would, get her, people generally want to be on the page or off the page. So she's kind of awkwardly standing on the border. So I would just get her feet all the way on. Where you crop people, where anything gets cropped, again, to go back to Jonathan's, it's like that top of the chimney is just kind of awkwardly cropped. Not that I'm suggesting it, but it'd be easier to get away with it, like if it were cropped, either you really crop it or you don't crop it, one or the other, I think. you know, ideally we would see the top of the chimney stack. So it's when you're like in this in between world, it becomes an awkward kind of crop. So get her feet, get her into the picture fully.
Okay.
Nice, nice. All right, Laney, I keep seeing this guy. I saw this guy this morning at an art gallery in Philadelphia. He gets around, and now he's in, where is he? He's in
Spain.
Spain now. Nice. Life is good. He looks pretty good. He's a little bright. This is Lilani. Are you here, Lilani? Yes.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. I think the SketchUp looks nice.
I feel like he's a little too tall, but I wasn't too sure because I'm kind of gauging it from the stairs.
That's how I was thinking too. Yeah, I kind of agree. But also you could look at always the stairs, right? So 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 7, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 49, 56, 63. So this is about 5 feet. So he's not, according to the stairs, he's not. According to this counter, he's not. He's maybe not too much. If anything,
Yeah.
not too much.
This and this particular design has a relatively low ceiling. So he may seem a little large in the space, but that's because you've gotten it about right. Yeah, the railings look a little high, but they're kind of goofy European railings that we could never get away with here. And
yeah, I mean, they're coming in nearly shoulder height. I mean, you'd be up here. So if you could drop the railings, I don't know in the original photographs, like how big is that space right there? Is that correct? Is the railing really 2 feet back, or if the railing were here? Have to look at the photographs. I mean, the railing might even be all the way in the corner, but that's, you know, that's the complexity of it all when you really get down to the details, like how things truly align. But I like the SketchUp. I like the.
I agree. I find that actually in this case, maybe it's because of the color palette again. That it really harmonizes very well. We get a nice feeling of the space and the look. And, you know, another case where we get a lot of information, even though it's not photorealistic. It, you know, we really can read the space very clearly. And you've got the light coming in right, and it, you know, it looks good. It's a little,
Go on, Michael.
yeah, there's just a little problem, and it's a little, it looks like maybe you did apply a little Photoshop, but it could go a little stronger, of a little bit more of a gradient on the walls and ceiling on the right-hand side of the photo, of the image.
There?
Yeah.
Here, that looks like a little bit of a gradient.
Yeah. But there's a nice application of gradients in this, the ceiling, particularly over the main space.
But one very important thing, and we talked about this morning in class, is that you don't get double shadows, right? You can't have a shadow within a shadow. That doesn't happen, Michael, right? That's not a thing.
Well, it could happen, but it would be weird.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Does it really in real life? Something like that could happen?
Yeah.
Could. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. That seems weird. Like generally, like what I was saying was like if you're standing next to a mailbox and the mailbox casts a shadow, your shadow would be consumed by the mailbox shadow. You wouldn't see 2 different shadows.
Right, unless there was some light source that was, you know, filling out the shadow.
Yeah, yeah.
Or reflection.
Yeah, more complicated light situation. So I think you could get rid of that shadow and just leave this little piece. That's really the only addition, I think.
I'm squinting and looking at it. And scene, you know.
So leave the shadow that's on the floor that's being protruded out from the corner of the counter space, because the countertop also has the light. So
Yeah.
I didn't know if I should cast the shadow of his chest too.
I think that's the shape. It just follows the SketchUp, and then that little extra bump is all you need.
Okay.
I mean, I think his shadow's well done, but I don't think you have a shadow on top of a shadow. Not like this, because this is suggesting a bright light coming through here, and you get these nice clear shadows for the chairs. So this is shadow, all this darkness, and now you have a shadow within a shadow.
You know, one thing you might even try, even though is if the way you've done the shadow, but you have the image in there, is try this guy as a graded reflection, as if the floor was shiny. That might be an interesting effect.
Yeah. And how did you say to do it? Do it as a...
Well, you've applied now, you would go back and take off the film. Oh, okay. So it's actually like a duplicate person, and then you just tone it down so that it's like a shiny surface that's actually reflecting some of the detail of his. That makes sense. Yeah. That could be nice. Yeah. So like when you walk into a place with a marble, bright, shiny marble floor, it's not just a simple gray shape. It's a little more detail from him could actually be in there. You could try that. That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Assuming the way your Photoshop file is set up, I don't think you could probably try that out really quickly.
Mm-hmm. And you could also put a little brightness adjustment layer on him, maybe so he's not so bright. Could. I mean, it's a bright place, but the sun's coming from the other side. He's okay. But you could tone him down maybe just a notch. And then I always, not that I'm saying do it, but like these European houses have nothing in them.
Yeah.
Not like my house. I got stuff everywhere. I got stuff over here. I got. It's nice. It looks good. All right, let's keep moving. So that's the first group. Is that the whole first group? Oh no, Abdulus. Oh no, that's not the whole first group. Sorry. Okay. Cows. Is Tao here? Yes. You want to say something, Michael?
Oh no, I find this is a really pleasing rendering. I might adjust the sun a little bit. It seems like it's almost too low. And I'm not quite sure what is going on. It looks like water outside of the. There's a. If you look, what is that? That shouldn't be there.
Are you there, Tao?
I think it's supposed to be the gravel under the building.
Oh, gravel. Yeah. I wonder if there's that much gravel around the building. Anyway, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it looks really good. I think there's a nice. It could use. It's come out of Lumion, and now it could use a little work in Photoshop and get some people in there. A person, either outside on the deck. Yeah, to be safe, particularly with these really small spaces, in this particular project, just think about somebody standing outside. And maybe not so much in the foreground. You could try something more in the foreground.
Yeah. significantly tougher in this foreground.
Yeah.
And yeah, just somebody looking out in the distance there, just with the back to you, and they're in shadow. You can see the shadow. This is all in shadow, this whole area, so that should be pretty easy. This is the board that I thought was weird. Is that
that's the part that should just be wood.
Yeah.
That should be the same wood, I think. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But I think the board otherwise looks good. Although I think it runs the other way, but what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
It's darn close.
Yeah, the floor is nice. Looks good. Looks good. All right, Abdullah. Let's see.
Now here we get into Lumion.
How many do we have here? One.
We have a lot.
2, 4, 6, 7. So let's just go through them and just see which ones are our favorite. So right off, the people are weird.
They
overdressed for a corporate.
3D.
Yeah. So let's just pick her.
Oh, I'm sorry, David.
You go on. You go on.
No, the one that's okay. Maybe you try it. You know, you try these Lumion people is the woman in the hoodie and the jeans. She's dressed appropriately. Her back is to us, so she doesn't look as weird as the other people. Yeah. They don't look. It's part of human perception. We immediately go to things like people's faces and skin tones, and we immediately get when it's wrong and when we're looking at cyborgs and not real people. It's it's really tough to do that.
Yeah. And this is a Lumion stone.
That could be the SketchUp stone. There may be I don't know if you did a Lumion stone.
The SketchUp.
Yeah, there's some stone. I think there is some stone paving in Lumion that's going to look a lot better. I would keep it, but I would definitely pick up there's a bunch of stone pavings in Lumion that you could bring in.
Yeah, it's flat. It's so flat compared to the grass. You know,
grass looks good.
Once you bring in something, once you like the best thing just raises the level, and then everything else has to live up to it. That's kind of just the way it goes. But yeah, she's good. This one's okay. She's about to step off the cliff there, but she's second best. But the guys in the suits are kind of weird. It looks like a meeting of some sort. I don't know. But I just wanted to flip through all 7 and see which ones we like best.
Yeah, there's a couple at the end. The last one that really comes off pretty well.
Yeah. And again, now it's same people, same exact position. This is what bugs me about Lumion.
Yeah.
Here she is taking the same step. So it's like we got 7 cameras set up for one photograph at the same exact time. There she is taking the step. So that's too weird.
What happened to your furniture?
Actually, I forgot that.
Yeah, you don't have to go crazy furnishing this, but it would look right to have something going on in there.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nice view.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice.
This one works except for that guy just stepping off the frame. And Abdullah, are these 2D people?
Yes.
Yeah, they're looking a lot better. They're in the distance. The 2D people in Lumion, they tend to look okay. The woman sitting on the grass looks really good.
Yeah.
That hair,
Yeah, this guy's dressed up, but he's
looking down at the step. So he's working. That's working. This rendering is working really quite well.
Yeah. With
the Lumion people. Yeah, and you just get rid of the Lumion. Please remember to crop off that Lumion.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I think there could be just a little more than grass in the foreground. You've gotten this far, you're using Lumion. There are plants that you can bring in, particularly a nice selection of tropical plants. And just a little bit more, that's the way it work, you know, it's working in the actual building.
Mm-hmm.
But I like this one the best.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes I think architectural photography is nice when the building's far away, but at the same time, like, I don't know, I feel like we get a little bit closer yet for this one. Like, I think there's a lot of, like, this is all kind of extraneous.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice that it frames the edge, but we don't need all that.
Yeah.
The woods.
You just go back one more time from the top for his. So one exterior image will probably suffice. Yeah. So this you got a whole huge background that needs to be addressed. So might want to just avoid that.
Yeah, the lower perspective is better anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice light. The interior looks good. We need some furniture. I prefer this one. You can see what's going on here around the corner there. I kind of like this sink a little bit. I wish the Lumion wasn't there, but
yeah, it's a pain.
Yeah. You could test your Photoshop skills and cover that up. Yeah. I prefer the other one to this one.
Mm-hmm.
Just not as interesting. Yeah. I like this one too. Good. Any questions, Abdullah, or you're good?
Yeah, I'm good. I think I have just to change the people. I will put the 2D 2D people, and so I think when there is a 2D people, so at each time I capture, I have to rotate the people because they are 2D, so I have to face the camera. Yeah.
So, Michael, what do they have to do? They have to put people in, render, change the people, or move the people around and then render again if they don't want to have the same exact shot?
Right, right. And you may not want that. Like this set of people is perfect for this rendering.
Yeah.
But you know, you should move the people around so that they're appropriate for each rendering.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. I think like the same person in the same exact pose is peculiar coming from two different views. I find that peculiar, at least. All right, good. And Romina. So we talked about this person appearing a little on the big side. Like if he stood up, I think he'd be a little bit big on the door.
Okay.
That's my impression.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit shorter, maybe. Maybe. The white's nice, even if it's not correct, but this is good. So I forget whose that was. Cows, I think, that had a strange band board right there. So this looks, I haven't looked at the photographs recently, but this looks more believable to me. I like the white, even if it's not correct.
It's close.
Yeah.
What should I have put there? Is like a material thing, or it's on this?
It's boards. It's horizontal boards.
Okay, I'll change it.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't worry about it too much. I like the people overall. You know, we mentioned that, and maybe there'll be a way. Maybe if you put the shadow in, he looks a little bit like he's hovering on that chair. Quite, just a little adjustment. The shadows are close for the people outside, but not quite the same as the shadows that are being cast by the sun. They have to go, they're a little more angled, just a little bit. But the people walking away, those seem very appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So the light quality is really nice.
The shadows outside here are nice.
Yeah.
And just to go back to Michael's point, like, don't worry about it, because you're not going to show, when this shows up in your portfolio, you're not going to show people the original piece. So, you know, if you take a little liberty here or there, you know, like if you go for a job interview, somebody's going to go, oh, I know that project. Isn't there a ceiling? You know, where's the wood ceiling? You know, that's not going to happen. So, you know,
you're certainly welcome to try it, but I wouldn't sweat a lot over it.
Yeah. Yeah. There comes a point where you just have to kind of move forward, and little liberties are okay. As long as you understand and you're doing things correctly, it's, you know, there's.
Yeah, I'll just be like putting in the argument is this is just such a profoundly all wood articulated structure.
Mm.
You know, that's like everything in this building is wood.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the drywall looks like, unlike what they actually did with this building, is someone did a little value engineering at the end and said that, because that's what it looks like. The white just looks like it's plasterboard.
Yeah.
But small.
But it does reflect light better, you know, it'll brighten up the space. And it's, I mean, I love wood, but it's also nice to get a break from it.
Oh, it's wood painted white. I mean, that's actually what it is in the building.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
It's nice. Are there light fixtures in the building, actually?
None visible.
The sun goes down.
I guess you're on the farm. It's time, you know, get the cows in the barn and.
Good. All right. Joyce's second. Oh my.
That's very cute.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. No railing. The railing's not there. Dad in the kitchen looks pretty good.
Yeah, he looks right.
Yeah. But again, just to go back to that point about the things cutting through, I mean, you could just scooch him over a little bit. I mean, I'm just being super picky, just to avoid like black lines running through it. Yeah, but I'm just being super picky at that point.
But you've picked up even the little boy's shadow cast on the wall.
Oh my, yeah, over here. Wow. Nice. Yeah, we need the railings, I think, though. That looks a little.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's scary enough the way it's actually done. And this is like totally petrifying for me.
Dad's got to pay attention to this kid before.
Right.
And then something's up there. I don't know how you.
Yeah, I would just, even if it doesn't work out in the SketchUp model, you know, applying like a lighter tone up there might be appropriate.
Yeah, something.
The light at the top of the stairs.
The wood's really nice. I'm not the biggest fan of SketchUp wood, but this is particularly nice, I think.
Yeah, actually, I think it's stone, but very nice technique though, overall.
Yeah, and I think it'll look really nice with the other one, her other one.
Yeah.
Just open that up real quick. That's you know, we're not looking at it this way, but you all need to look at yours next to each other. We'll see it when we see the draft board, but make sure that you treat yours, you know, the same in terms of the feel, you know, lightness, airiness, whatever it is. And these two, I think. So now we have 5 different people.
It's quite the
I don't know,
family.
maybe we lose this guy who's waiting to come in, the salesman or something there.
Oh, I like him.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like his placement and his framing, but it is quite a crowd. But these two look really nice together.
Yeah, you've totally nailed the guy. We're calling him Dad in the kitchen. He's like that. He looks just right.
Yeah. Very nice. Elaine's we talked about. Paula's we talked about. Good. All right. Let's go on to what else do we have here? Elaine, 2 more. Tao. Where was Tao's other one? Are you there, Tao? Are you with us?
Yeah, he had his interior.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Hold on. All right, so we looked at the interior, so I can't flip through them that way with the PDFs or with the, but there, I mean, Lumion hangs together always, I think, just generally has, there's a rough stone.
Yeah, I don't know. That's looks a little curious, but I guess you applied the stone in Lumion. You painted with it, I think, probably a little bit.
Yeah, I painted the floor with stone.
But what is strange is why aren't the shadows showing up more? I mean, there's a little shadow cast by the chimney, but it's
I could see the slightest one right there.
why are the shadows so slight? Is it very late in the day?
I think it has to do with my editing. Like I tried to turn the shadow up a bit, but for some reason it couldn't go up as much as I want.
Yeah, I'm speculating because I don't know quite what to do, but it seems that the shadows are they're almost a little too subtle.
It does feel light in the day, though. It does feel like dusk.
Yeah, and I think it could be cropped in. You know, we don't really need to see that plane stretching off on either side. Yeah.
This is good. Nice amount of space around the top. Nice amount of space here.
The model is excellent. It's I guess because I had the chance to review the SketchUp model myself, it's just, you know, extraordinarily well detailed and complete. I mean, you even got the jalousie windows in. There's really, it's the whole, everything that is in the building is here. So.
Nice. How about if, and I'm not saying you have to do it by any means, but how about if they wanted to, like, this is not correct.
Yeah, that doesn't look quite right.
This is flooring that's been turned down here. This would be some, like, one piece. Again, we could go back to the photographs, but that would be expected to be like one solid piece that caps the end. So would that be a different material in SketchUp?
Yeah, what you'd have to do to get it to work in Lumion is you'd apply like a solid wood material to those edges. And then you could also then substitute when you made it a different material, you could also bring in a Lumion wood material, but just making it one of the flat colors would probably, wood grains would probably be good enough. It does just look a little odd.
Yeah.
Because that just isn't what buildings do.
Just like a deck, you would have a board. You'd have your boards, and then they would be capped with a piece like that. And you really wouldn't even see the edge. Well, you could. Either the boards are either sitting on top of this board or they're covered by that board, one or the other, but this would be one solid piece, is what I would expect. And these things, are they black or?
They're black.
They should be black, yeah. And that could be Photoshop.
Could be Photoshopped or it could be redone if you rendered in Lumion.
Yeah,
But they are black.
I can change the color of the metal like easily in SketchUp and then just update it.
Yeah, if you're going to go through the whole process, I would do that.
Because these are super detailed. They even have the bolts on them, I think, right?
Yeah, they do.
So you might as well go all the way here, you know.
Can't see them there, but it's really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice.
The gutters.
Yeah. Very pretty. And Romina, nice. Shadows are a little wonky. People's shadows are a little wonky, but so this shadow is running. Yeah, so that's not bad.
That's pretty close. The guy on the bike is more off.
Yeah, this would be more. That's tough. That's a tough one you're asking for.
I'm almost like, can we do without it?
Yeah, unless you want to really work it and try to make it. But this guy's not on a mountain bike, city bike anyway. It's a long bike ride.
Good attempt, but again, it's like it's that guy standing out there. Even if he's moved in closer to the building, well, maybe if he's moved in closer to the building, but we've got a lot of plane to look at here.
Yeah, and in general, when you're doing these things, I mean, the shadow is part of the composition. So you're chopping off this weird little bit here, like, you know, this whole thing could really be. I mean, you could lose the bicycler, and you know, I think this could be all the way here and shadow, not above the horizon, obviously, but you know, this shadow is part of the composition. It's not 50% of the bit, but you could really, not like that, but you get the gist, right? There's nothing going on this entire third besides bicycle guy.
Okay.
So I think that all that could go away. This doesn't have to get cut off as much. And this guy might just be enough. One could be enough.
Okay.
You know, it's good to be ambitious. It's good to practice and try things, but don't undermine, you know, what you've accomplished, because it's just tough. That's a tough shadow for anybody.
Yeah, but I wouldn't abandon him. I'd move him in closer and adjust the shadow, and then see how you feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But
I'll try that and see how it goes with him and without him.
Was this like a skew or distort?
No, I think I just like pulled him a little bit. Like maybe I scaled him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He looks a little short from up close.
He looks pretty. And you lighten him up. Look at these shadows here. See how light these shadows are?
Mm-hmm. So lighter. Okay.
Half is light. That'll definitely help.
Maybe I put the dark instead of normal. I did the dark thing on him.
Yeah. Pay attention to the existing shadows. That's what you have to match. So he's probably at least twice as dark as he needs to be.
Okay. I think I took the shadow from the background. That's why he came out so dark.
Mm-hmm. I like how we could see through to the other door. It's nice. Very nice looking model. The metal pieces look good. The color of the deck is nice. And can you rotate wood grain in Lumion?
Yeah, you have to apply a different material to each one, so it gets to be a little tedious.
Yeah. Just, and I'm definitely not saying to do it, to fuss with it now, but in general, I could see that this wood grain is running up and down when it should run that way.
And what you would have to do to make that work is apply 2 different materials in SketchUp, and then you could adjust them independently in Lumion. You can adjust the angle of them. It's the wood grain is a bit of a pain in Lumion, and that you have to kind of fuss with it to get it just right.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. All right, that's everybody's.
I think I have one more.
Where? I didn't see it. I'll look.
Okay,
Anybody?
I did send one more, but.
Okay, I'll look.
I sent one too.
Okay. Why don't you guys stick around and tell me where? Why don't we take a break?
Okay.
We'll take a 10-minute break and then I'll find them. You two stick around, tell me where they are, and I'll get them. And then when we return, we'll look at those quickly and then we'll go into InDesign.
Yes.
Okay, so 20 after, and Romina and Nessa, just tell me where you're going with stuff, all right? Where stuff landed. Okay?
Okay.
All right, we'll see you at 20 after. So let me get my canvas up and I'll find them. So where did it land, Essa?
Mine is in the #1 draft. Yeah, right there.
Okay, and yours, Romina?